Hey guys, so yeah, the other day I watched this documentary called Seaspiracy on Netflix. It's pretty good. It's about how we're consuming way too much fish, and in turn that's going to lead to the oceans dying, which isn't a good thing because without the oceans we are going to die. And the way that that phenomenon works, because I never understood why the oceans are connected to us. It's because whales and sharks and dolphins kind of hunt. They rise up to the surface of the ocean so that they can drive the fish up as well, and in turn that also makes it easier for birds to come and catch the fish because they're at the top, so they work together to allow each other to survive. But besides that, they drive up, and they also allow these plants called phytoplankton to drive up, which produce 85% of our oxygen, as well as being huge carbon tanks for all the carbon that we're producing in the world, much bigger than any rainforest is. So oceans are hugely vital. And if we get rid of these predators, these whales, sharks and dolphins, which are at the top of our food chain, which we are doing, we are hunting dolphins in places like Japan, we are hunting sharks for their fins, and we are also whaling for whale meat, then that process isn't going to happen anymore. And that's kind of what the guy in the documentary says. I'm literally next to the ocean right now. Don't want it to die. He also talks about how we're using way too much plastic, and everyone talks about, oh, stop using plastic bags, oh, stop using plastic straws, and that is important, but he said that plastic straws only make up like 0.something% of the plastic in the ocean. I mean, obviously they're tiny, but the point is, what makes up the biggest proportion of all this plastic is fish nets. And fishing is another problem because of the way that we see it in our mind, I think, well at least I did naturally, just that it's this guy with a rod or this tiny little net that just goes out and captures some fish and that's it. But it's not like that. It's these massive industrial tanks that are going out to ocean, and they're like factories, they're terrifying. And they put these nets into the ocean, sweeping the whole entire ocean floor, destroying it completely. The equivalent of basically an earthquake wiping out all the buildings of a city, giving no environment for any future species to live there, as well as not only capturing the fish that they want to capture, but capturing bycatch. Bycatch is all the other stuff that's going to be captured in the meantime, such as dolphins, sharks, whatever. And this bycatch isn't good because they literally they take it up and then these sharks just get dumped back in, but they're already dead, and then what? And sometimes if you go to the shop, you might see on your product dolphin safe or captured sustainably or something, and it turns out that a lot of these times these labels aren't true. Not to say that sustainable fishing doesn't exist, but it's not very prevalent. And the way that they check that a product might be dolphin safe is that they have observers on a lot of these fisheries, on a lot of these boats, and these observers check that the fishermen are doing their job right. When they catch, they are capturing in a safe way, they are not capturing bycatch, etc. But in the last few decades, a lot of these observers have gone missing or been killed. So it's kind of confusing, and also shows that there really isn't any respect, and that even if these fisheries can be bribed, these observers can be bribed, nothing's going to happen, because at the end of the day, money is what matters most. And if they can capture these fishes that are going to cost a lot of money, they're not going to care if they need to sacrifice a dolphin's life. So even though we might not want to reduce our plastic or reduce our fish, I mean, like, we have to, because otherwise we won't survive. So I don't know, it's kind of sad, and also I don't like the animals dying. But that's it. That's a quick summary of the Seaspiracy thing. And on the internet I found out that some of the points that marine biologists dispute about this documentary is that sharks aren't necessarily considered top predators, and the food chain can survive without them. So even though we are killing sharks, the rest of the food chain may be able to survive, and therefore the populations can keep reproducing, which is what we want. And also that he talks about sustainable fishing not existing, but marine biologists have stated that it does exist, just not frequently, and we need to try to seek out that information ourselves. But yeah, that's it. It's a really good documentary anyway, even if you're not interested in that kind of thing. It's quite suspenseful, and like he goes to all these secret places and they keep telling him to shut the camera off, so it's quite fun. But yeah, that's it. I hope you guys enjoy, and that's it. Bye!